Okay, I want to give a little editorial, I guess, a little opinion I have on people and if you mess up. I just recently had my motorhome returned to me, and I rented it through Good Sam RV Rentals. And the guy brought it back, and he got in an accident with it. He told me about it, and I saw the damage. But what he didn't tell me is when I ended up getting it, it was filthy, covered with bugs. The rear axle looked like it's messed up. And then the other side, he actually had damaged the other side too, where he said, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I think I hit something, is what he said. Where it was obvious he messed up the underneath where the stairs come out, where you go into the side of the motorhomes. That was all messed up and all bent. And it's obviously he hit something really hard. And then he blew two tires as well, which all the tires on that were just replaced recently and are new tires. So I don't know how he was driving this thing or what he was doing. He put 6,000 miles on it in 10 days. So he put a lot of miles on it. And then when he shows up, he takes out my mailbox. And then I'm like, what the hell happened here? And he's like, he's like, yeah, I did that. And I'm like, dude, do you fucking pay attention at all? Like, he destroyed both sides of my motorhome. And it came back a filthy mess. And then he's sitting there telling me how, well, I had to clean up the tire blown is your fault. And well, I had to clean up, I guess I forgot to empty two of the drawers. I had it's never been so clean, this motorhome. It was beautiful when I handed it to him. And two of the drawers I forgot to empty. And because I was just using it up until that point for like 3 weeks. And I forgot to empty two of the drawers of some clothes. And he's like, well, yeah, it was a mess there, and it was all your fault because what a mess it was. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. You're giving me grief because somehow you destroyed my motorhome. You did damage to it on both sides and the rear end, blew tires. The thing is probably a total loss by the insurance company. And you're going to sit here and talk to me about I didn't empty two drawers so it wasn't clean. Give me a fucking, you know, never once apologized, never once said I'm sorry. It reminds me, young black kid, just didn't give a shit, driving it like an idiot. It reminds me of the young black woman who was playing on her cell phone 2 years ago. I was at a dead stop in the middle of the road, and she plowed over me, broke my back. I was in the hospital for 5 months. I'm in pain every day. I had to have a pain pump installed. I cannot work. I cannot function. I have a real hard time getting through in life. I can't walk. The rest of my life, I'll be dealing with pain and trying to walk, and I can't walk right for the rest of my life. And it broke my back, and I was had to deal with that pain and suffering for years, and I'll have to deal with it probably the rest of my life. And she never once apologized to me. Never once even, I'm sorry. And then even when we had a meeting between the lawyers, and of course, she didn't have two nickels to rub together, so I got no money from the settlement. No money at all. And, yeah, I didn't get a nickel from anyone. I think the insurance company paid for like $25,000, and it was all dispersed amongst costs involved with the accident. And it's 4 years later. I've never seen a nickel. And when we were having a meeting between the lawyers, 8 months later or whatever, her lawyer said to her, is there anything you want to tell Mr. Van Dyke? Like trying to get him to hint, like, hey, I'm sorry about this. And she's like, oh, yeah, it must suck to be you. That's what she said. Like, it must suck. Yeah, like, medical expenses suck. That must suck. That's what she said. Never apologize. It's just like this fucker. He destroyed my motorhome, damaged it, never once apologized. And all he's doing is texting me now and giving me shit back. And if you fuck up in life, if I had done, I wouldn't have never treated a motorhome and never treated anything poorly like this idiot. And if let's say I wasn't paying attention and I hurt somebody really badly, like she hurt me on the motorcycle, I'd be sending flowers every day. I don't care what the lawyer said. I'd be like so apologetic. I mean, even after everything was all discussed and agreed upon with the lawyers, she should have said something. Nothing, not even an apology or nothing. If you fuck up in life, apologize. Say, hey, I fucked up. You know, there's things I would have done in the past, and I've even called my daughter, and she won't talk to me because things her mom said about me. I don't know why she's mad at me, but I'm like, hey, I know I could have done things different. Let's talk about it. I never did abuse her or raise my hand to her or hit her or anything like the what was claimed. I ripped her cell phone out of her hand, and she acted like I abused the hell out of her. And but even when I messed up in the past, I apologize. If you mess up in life, you have to apologize and say, look, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I will pay for it. These people around here in Indianapolis that are fucking like this, that they're never going to apologize. They're never going to admit to wrong. It just blows my mind. Karma's got to come back at them 1,000 times full. It's a mind blowing. When you fuck up in life, make good by it. Apologize. Do what you can to make things right. You don't just. I think it was a couple of years ago. I rear-ended somebody, and it was my fault. And I was like, first thing I did was like, I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, totaled out my truck. But it was my fault. The cops came and said, I'm like, dude, it was my fault. Totally my fault. I told the cop it was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I admitted to it. I went up to them and I said, look, I'm really sorry. Insurance company should cover it. If it don't, get a hold of me. I hope you're okay. Thank God everyone was okay. That's what I did. And if you don't do that when you fuck up, you're just a fucking piece of shit. And just jump off a cliff somewhere because you're just a piece of shit that's no good for this world. And or seriously consider how you need to change, because it blows my mind when people mess up like they do. And, there's never an apology. All the shit my ex did, all the lies in the courts, all the stuff she said to my kid, all this stuff, never an apology. This lady breaks my back. I'll be in pain the rest of my life. No apology. And then, this guy destroys my motorhome. No apology. No remorse whatsoever, even though he clearly fucked up my motorhome and did a lot of damage to it. No responsibility. Didn't take any responsibility for it at all. It was somehow my fault, right? It's just, wow. If you're that type of person, really, you need to change or jump off a cliff, because it's mind-blowing to me that there's fucking people that pathetic out there in the world. And unfortunately, I just run into them too much. But I know one thing, I'll never be renting my RV out again. So hopefully this is helpful. I just wanted to vent and give my 2 cents on this. So I will be giving some other videos on some personal stuff coming up here pretty shortly. So that I feel I need to, that's important stuff. So that's it, guys. Talk to y'all later.